anybody else to try. I was talking about this the memo thing, and these people have been busted for being bag liars and thieves, basically in a nutshell. And the mainstream media, they twist it. You see the way they distort the stories when it comes out. It almost sounds like it's still on Trump, like they're still pointing the finger at Trump, when really the whole thing's being turned around with this clown. What's this clown's name? This Schiff, Adam Schiff, right? What is wrong with this guy? I mean, there's so many people that appear to be compromised, blackmailable, or something, that they seem to be going against their own beliefs. I don't know what it is. There's something very uncomfortable, some unconfessed transgression or something that this guy is hanging on to that, who knows? There might be people in the law enforcement, I'm talking about the FBI and the Justice Department, that know what's wrong with this guy, and they say, well, we just don't want to touch this thing. But there's something, that stinks in Denmark here, with this whole scam, this whole thing from the get-go, from the onset, this whole Russian collusion narrative that, what a bunch of nonsense. I mean, the whole idea of claiming that Trump, who has been this devout capitalist his whole life, suddenly we're all just supposed to believe, yes, now he's going Russian and he's going to turn the country over to Russia or something. And Russia has been getting away from communism, the bad kind of communism, the authoritarian kind of communism. If anybody's out there as a Marxist and they say, look, it's got some virtue, and I would say I could agree with that. And I could agree that, what's been happening under the guise, under the moniker, the title, the pretense of capitalism in America is disgusting and disturbing. And I don't understand why Alex Jones doesn't speak out more about this stuff. The crony capitalism. How about revisiting 2008? What would be the net result of that? We need to have a market correction. Housing costs need to come way down. Taxes on our existence, on our survival, need to come way down. And Alex Jones and his reporters and his guests need to touch on this. They need to touch on, they complain about welfare and all these welfare recipients. Yes, we need to talk about getting rid of this $50 billion a year boondoggle bonanza for the scammers like Rich Dad and his ilk, that make these people, all the money's going into their fat maws, into their fat pie holes. That $50 billion a year, and the problem keeps getting worse. That's what you need to talk about. You want to get rid of welfare? Let's talk about the ramifications of getting rid of that $50 billion a year Section 8 welfare, housing welfare subsidy that's supposed to prevent homelessness and provide affordable housing for those that can't afford to house themselves. That's what it's supposed to be for. We need to talk about the fact that a flat in New York City is $3,500. And if all that the government, when you're tapped into the social welfare system, tells you that you can afford to pay of your housing costs is $200 or $300 or $400 or $500 because you're on a minimum wage job, we need to talk about this. I think I don't want to say dishonesty because I know Alex Jones is an honest, righteous dude, but bring it up, man. I think that, you're subconsciously, you're avoiding this. You got blinders on, your reporters and your guests and something, because I can't be the only guy in the world that thinks about these things. So that's what we need to talk about there, getting rid of that and putting that $50 billion away into an escrow account to build people houses. Because I'm not saying, on one hand, I'll say, yeah, kick everybody off that Section 8 housing tomorrow, yesterday. Do it yesterday. We got to pay down the debt, man. Get Rich Dad off the junk. He's just sucking it. Give me more of that. I'm going to raise the rents. Yeah, right. Understand. Let's talk about it. Let's play hardball here. Let's get crazy. So let's put them all in FEMA camps. All those people that are on Section 8, they go into the FEMA camps temporarily. We'll get the National Guard involved. Maybe we'll get the United Nations involved, right? Whatever it takes. But we're going to fix the damn problem. You hear me? Talk. Be real. Be honest. That's what I'm saying. Be honest. By not avoiding these things. You talk about what the mainstream media, they ignore. So by omission, they're lying. That's right. Well, you don't want to be named among that caliber, do you? So let's talk about these things. Let's get real. So put that $50 billion away, sock it away until we can afford to buy all these people that can't afford to buy their own houses. And then that $50 billion a year tax subsidy, okay, that the people are paying, welfare subsidy, stops having to be paid. Do you understand? So I'm going to hear it from both ends of the spectrum. The lefties are going to say, "Oh man, you right-wing conservative nut job, you Hitler, you know what's wrong with you, man? You want to kick everybody off Section 8, the poor, but it was capitalism that caused this problem. They did it on purpose. Look up Cloward and Piven's strategy. They're deliberately making us poor. Nobody can ever deny that. That's a fact." And so you're going to kick everybody off Section 8 housing, take away that welfare subsidy? I'm going to say, yep, that's right. Call me a right-wing nut job, okay? And now I'm going to get it from the neocons out there, okay, that want to tell me when I say buy them houses, they're going to say, "Oh, my God, you bleeding heart freaking liberal, man. Get a life," right? Commie, socialist. Move to Venezuela, right? Am I going to hear that from the so-called conservatives when I'll do the math with you and I'll show you how much money you'll save in the long run? Okay, so I'm sorry. See, I'm doing it again like I'm autistic here. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to do this, but this is what really bugs me, man. And I know it's bugging God. And so I've got to speak out and make sure people hear me under no uncertain terms here. Because when I go to sleep at night, I have compunction. I feel guilty to go to bed in a warm, dry bed, okay? To have a roof over my head. When better men and better women than me are dying out on the streets tonight. Oh, I can't take it anymore. And if I look like a nut, if I sound like a nut, so be it. Maybe I am a nut. You know, I don't know. Maybe I had to visit a shrink. What are they going to tell me? They're going to say, "Oh, well, you just got the lines blurred there and you're just passionate, or you were just acting there for a minute." Yeah, I don't know. Okay, all I know is I'm real. And that, you know, I'm encouraging you to be real and just to be honest. And just let's face the music, man, as a society, as a so-called civilized society. And let's fix our damned problems. No more ifs, ands, or buts. No more BS. Do the math. And let's fix our damned problems. Okay? Because it'll be cost of living, inflation in reverse. Okay? It'll be currency debasement in reverse. It will set us free. Your sense of safety and security and freedom and prosperity will go up. So will his, and so will hers, and theirs, in this country, in that country, all around the world. You understand how this thing will work? Like a chain reaction, cause and effect, snowball effect. You understand? And it'll spread as a very beautiful virus of love and peace and joy and contentment and all these good things, the bliss and all that stuff we could get if we were living together as one big happy family. Nobody being oppressed. Everybody being born with equal rights to share in the bounty, in the inherent wealth of this planet. Okay? That's what I'm talking about here. And that is not socialist. That is not capitalist. That is not liberal. That is not conservative. It's just all that is right about understanding basic economic principles, what that really means. It has to do with freedom. It has to do with prosperity. It doesn't have to have a damn thing to do with money. And the way to move away from the money thing is gradually, incrementally. We're not going to do it with wages. We're not. We're not going to do it with just wage. That ship has sailed so long ago, it's not funny. Okay, we've got to bring down our cost of living. It's not going to happen through cost of living adjustments. That would have worked if they had started that 50 years ago, okay? But the Labor Department's been utterly, resoundingly remiss in that area. And so, you know, that, like I said, that ship has sailed a long, long time ago. So don't expect pay to be going up and meeting the cost of living so that you're going to once again be able to enter the middle class home ownership category on a minimum wage job, because that's the way it used to be in this country. And you consider, you do the math yourself. You figure out how much you'd have to make after taxes, net, okay, income you'd have to make to buy a house in your neighborhood. And if your neighborhood is in San Francisco, I could tell you right off the top of the bat, okay, is that you're going to need well over $100,000 a year. And in minimum wage, we're probably looking at 50, 60 bucks an hour you'd have to earn minimum. That's 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week.